Okay, so I'm here just adjusting this camera. Hello everybody, this is my friend Ruthy, and I'm here to talk to you about epilepsy, which she's, first of all, how long did you, how long?
It has been 8 years now.
8 years,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so a couple of things I'll mention here. It's the fourth most common neurological disorder. Epilepsy, the word epilepsy means seizure disorders. They are well, a lot of times they're unpredictable seizures and can cause other health problems. It's a spectrum condition with a wide range of seizure types and vary from person to person. And there's a public misunderstanding of epilepsy that causes challenges that are often worse than the seizures. And they're unprovoked seizures not caused by some known reversible medical condition. Their cause is often unknown. So I guess we'll kind of start with that. I did read that there is some warnings. Do you have warnings with yours?
I get what's called auras right before.
Yeah.
And those are kind of like the calm before the storm, and
Right.
my heart rate will like skyrocket. I'll get really dizzy. So the best way to describe it is kind of like falling down a rabbit hole.
Oh.
Which I thought was really interesting because I've always felt like that was exactly how to explain it, and then I looked into it, and the person that made Alice in Wonderland, she made it because she has epilepsy, and that's her best way to describe it.
Oh wow.
So falling down is exactly what it feels like. Like it feels like you're just floating.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
And do you always have this before the onset of a seizure? And do you have it when you don't have a seizure?
Most of the time I have them before. Like my first seizure that I had 8 years ago, I didn't have that feeling. Like I felt really shaky, and then I dropped, and then I didn't have any like warning sign. But most of the time I'll get like an aura before that'll kind of like detect that I'm going to have one, so I'll sit down or I'll lay down or kind of get ready for it.
Yeah, take preventable measures, right, so you don't get hurt.
Yeah.
I'll mention, just on a side note, there's 65 million people worldwide that have epilepsy and 3.4 million in the U.S. And between 4 and 10 out of every 1,000 people have active seizures. And there's 150,000 new cases in the U.S. annually. And 1/3 of people with epilepsy live with uncontrollable seizures because no available treatment works for them. Do you have treatment?
I'm on a medicine called Lamictal. And I take it 3 times a day.
Oh wow.
And I'm down to maybe 1 seizure a month.
Oh good.
Compared to when I first started 8 years ago, I had 10 a night. So
10 seizures a night?
Yeah. And
Jeez.
it would just be one after another after another after another.
Jeez.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, let's see, now well, I guess, well, it says epilepsy, you're diagnosed if you have 2 unprovoked seizures more than 24 hours apart, and so I guess you qualified fairly quickly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they now, instead of calling it a disorder, they call it a disease.
Yeah.
To take it more seriously.
Yeah.
I read if you're seizure free for at least 10 years and you're off your meds for 5 years, then it will be considered resolved.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll eventually be your case.
Yeah.
But I wanted to. So I guess we'll not as organized on these notes as I thought I was, but so I guess one thing I would ask: what happens during the seizure? Because I know there's 3 stages. It says there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. But I know it's different for everybody.
Yeah. So the first thing for the seizure is I don't really know what's going on. Like, I don't really know where I am. I could know you for I don't know how many years I've known you now, and I still be like, who is this guy?
Right.
In the middle, I won't know anything. I will be out because I usually get the grand mal seizures. In the end, it'll be kind of like the beginning. Like, you could be talking to me like, Ruthy, are you okay? And I won't know who you are, where I am. My first seizure, they asked me who the president was, and I said Bush. And at that time, it was obviously Obama.
Oh.
Like, I didn't know anything. I didn't know where I was.
Wow.
I didn't know what time it was. Nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, because I've read that there's all kinds of different effects depending on who the person is. It's just a whole wide range for mental and physical.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then we did talk about the aura. It says, and back to the aura, the warning sign. It says some people have hours or even days of warning before it starts, and then some have no warning. Does your warning vary in time?
It's usually, I would say, maybe a couple hours before.
Okay.
It would be between 2 hours to 30 minutes before is when it starts, and then I know that I have to like sit down and kind of control my breathing.
Right.
So.
Yeah, so you have to get prepared. So you've never really had them without a warning?
It's really, really rare that I
Yeah.
haven't. I usually always get that warning right before.
Well, I guess that's actually good to at least have a warning.
Yeah, to have a warning
Yeah,
before.
because you don't want to.
Yeah, just fall.
And then, also, the ending of the seizure would be the recovery period. And some, I read, have immediate recovery, some takes minutes, and some takes hours and hours. And you could have symptoms, all kinds of symptoms that last a while afterwards that you're just completely exhausted and your body's just weak.
Yeah.
So is your recovery for?
Trying to like understand where I am and what's going on probably would take under 30 minutes to kind of figure out what I'm doing. The whole body getting sore, it kind of reminds me of like doing like a full body workout, and the next day you're just so sore, like everything hurts.
Oh wow.
That lasts for hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So just completely sore.
Yeah, like everything in my body tenses up, so everything hurts.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then so let's see what so there's a lot of, I guess I would ask what causes it, but there's a lot of them, there's just really no known cause. But have they figured anything out for you, or?
Mine are really photosensitive. So like the lights, if you notice, like in my house, I have it really dark in here.
Yeah.
I have the blinds shut and only just a few lights on, just because the lighting really affects me.
Oh wow.
So when we go to like movies, like if I go to like a movie like Spider-Man or something like that, I need to wear sunglasses because of how the vibrant lights go. Or for like scary movies, when it's like flashy, trying to make it look scary, I can't really go see those because the strobe light really gets to me when I get seizures. So
yeah, so basically it's the light that switches it off. Yeah. And then how about computer screens and TVs and cell phones?
Yeah, so my cell phone, I have it on the lowest brightness, and my laptop, I have it on the lowest brightness, and then TV I can only watch maybe an hour or so before it starts really getting to me.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So you gotta watch all those electronic gadgets.
Yeah.
And then I would ask, what are the risk factors? Are there? Well, I guess those would be the risks. She's got a really cool dog. Yeah. But what, like the risk factors, like I guess that would be is what you just said, the lights and the electronic gadgets, TVs and all that. So
I also do have to make sure that I get 8+ hours of sleep.
Oh wow.
If I don't, I feel really like just out of it the whole day. I feel obviously everyone feels tired if they don't get enough sleep, but I feel really, really tired, really dizzy. And if I read for a long time, I love reading, but I can only read maybe an hour max before I start getting headaches. I remember I had one seizure where I was reading and I really love this book and I just didn't want to put it down. And I remember my jaw like just going out of control, and then right after that I had one.
Jeez.
So I can read for a little amount of time and gotta make sure I have
take
sleep.
a break.
Yeah, I have to make sure I take a break.
All right, and then you can go back after a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, do they know if you inherited it, or they don't know?
They don't know because I don't really know that much about my dad's side.
Oh, okay.
Since he's not in my life.
Sure.
So they don't.
Okay.
They don't know.
Yeah. And then, so we talked about and then, I was going to ask about the treatment, but you take that medicine 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And then, like first aid and safety. Let's say you were to have one now, what would I have to do?
The first thing would probably be I would be on the floor, so you would have to put me to my side, because a lot of times, I think it's only happened a couple times with me, but a lot of times you throw up and you don't want them to suffocate on their throw up, so you'll put me to my side and then take anything off that would hurt me. So for example, like my glasses, or if I had a scarf on, you would take off the scarf and the glasses so they don't hurt me.
Sure.
And then another thing would be to make sure you time it. It may seem like a long time, but if it goes over 5 minutes, I can go into a coma.
Ooh.
Yeah. Which luckily it's never gotten that far.
Yeah.
But that's the biggest thing, is to make sure you time it for me.
Wow. So timing. Wow.
Yeah.
But I'm sure even just a 1 minute seizure just wastes the body.
Yeah.
It's just.
It really does.
Yeah. And then I was going to ask, how do you manage it? But I guess you kind of already explained that with the medicine and keeping the lights dimmed.
Yeah.
And then I would ask, what are your challenges with it? Like, you can't drive a car, right?
No.
Yeah, and so you've got to rely on others to drive you around, and you can't use public transportation, right? By yourself.
Yeah, they urge not to, just because since I would be by myself, they don't want me to get hurt. Or you've heard a lot of times people have seizures and people steal their stuff while they're having a seizure.
Yeah.
As far as like fun things, like they urge not to go to concerts because of the lights. Again, with the movies, you can't really go to the movies. You can't really go to like the clubs or something like that with lights.
Right.
So there's a lot of restrictions of things that you can't do.
Right. How about like going to an amusement park like Elitch's? Can you go on rides and stuff?
I can go on rides. I haven't been on rides since I think before it happened.
Yeah.
But I know like a lot of people can't go on rides, but I don't think I.
Yeah. So. So it's always good to be around someone that knows your situation.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. And then I don't know where it is here, but I had mentioned how it seems like, I guess, society doesn't take it as seriously as they should. So like the challenges of just having it can be, they said, more challenging than the seizures itself, probably because, do you find that where you go in life, whether it's a job or whatever, that people think, oh, it's, whatever, it's not that serious?
I think when I first started getting seizures and I told everybody at Costco, they kind of were like it's not really not that big of a deal. But I don't think it's a big deal if it's not happening to you.
Right.
Or somebody really close like us, especially since, we were all in the same department.
Right.
It kind of affected everybody if I was sick.
Right.
And I think a lot of people think, oh, it's just because she's on drugs or something's wrong with her. I know a lot of times, like back in the day, they would say that she was a witch.
Oh.
People that have epilepsy would be considered witches.
Oh, yeah, back in before they knew what it was.
Yeah, before they knew what it was, they were considered, oh, she's a witch because she's doing that. And I mean, it's not anything like that, it's just something that happens.
Right. So, but hopefully, it's taken more seriously. And, are yours, I know you said you just have an average of once a month. So is that, over time, is it improving the distance of time?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's, compared to 10 a night, compared to now that it's slowly once a month, and then hopefully it'll be once every 2 months. And then,
Yeah, and then eventually,
Yeah.
it just goes away.
yeah.
So, let's see. I knew I had another question, but I don't know. Is anything you want to add or anything or?
I know that they changed it to a disease, and it kind of makes
Right.
it sound like you're contagious.
Uh-huh.
And it's not. You can't.
Right.
You sitting here, you're not going to get it from
Right,
me.
right.
And yes, it is something that I'll live with, and it is considered a disability and a disease, but it's not something that just because you talk to me or touch me, that
Right,
you're
right.
going to get my cooties or
Sure,
whatever.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's just something that everyone should know. It's not
Right.
something that you could get from me.
Right, right. It's not contagious.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
But all right. Well, I thought I was more organized here, but yeah. But I think we can always talk again sometime. But get an update from you. But
Yeah.
again, this is my friend Ruthy, who's been living with epilepsy for 8 years, and they are getting further and further apart between seizures. So we hope it keeps improving for
Yeah.
you, and we'll do an update sometime, and
Yeah.
hopefully it'll be getting better even by then. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Ruthy, and you guys all have a good day. I hope this helps explain epilepsy a lot more to all of you out there, because there's more people that have it than you realize, and it's good to help. One time I did see someone on the light rail train. He dropped his phone. I picked it up to give it to him, and he had foam coming out of his mouth, and he was just frozen. So I don't know if that was an epileptic one or not, but it's good to, they had to stop the train, so it's good for the world to know, is to be able to help you all. So
Yeah.
all right. Well, thanks a lot, everyone. Ruthy.